Ooh, let me adjust this camera. Hello, it's me. So, I've oft talked about, on this channel, reform. And I've made it clear, in my opinion, who can affect change and who can't. And I've said that reform can't really affect change. They've put themselves in a situation where they're, how can I put it? Nigel Farage is like a circus cheerleader, a circus ringmaster. And I don't mean that unkindly. I think he's playing to his strengths, quite frankly. And what we hear from Nigel Farage is yowza, 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 immigration, security, strength, etc., etc. And as I say, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. He's playing to his strengths. It's a good thing. And in some instances, he's not wrong. I don't agree with much that he says, but it's hard to disagree with some of the other things that he says. There are issues with immigration. We know this. But immigration is a good and proper thing for a civilized nation to be doing, if done correctly. My parents were immigrants. Brilliant. They came over, they engaged with the Home Office, they got in, and they were both very proud to be living in the UK. My dad once said this country gave him everything. Big thumbs up. But I also said that I felt that reform was somehow still establishment, because there were no real dangerous shots from the establishment, from outlets like the BBC or the Times. Plenty slagging off Nigel Farage on a personal level. But politically speaking, there was certainly an element of treating him maybe as a joke or just ignoring him, that kind of thing. And that's problematic. Because if the BBC aren't making you look like a rabid axe murderer, then politically you're not doing enough. Or they don't see you as a threat. To wit, I give you this tweet from a verified user called Claire. And let me read this for you now. It says, so Laura Kuenssberg is now Reform's little puppet and no longer Tories. Don't call yourself an impartial political show when you're clearly a right-wing shill. So obviously that she's come out and she's spoken very favourably about reform. It is my opinion that Laura Kuenssberg is not who she says she is, in the same vein that Emily Maitlis isn't who she says she is. They call themselves journalists when in actual fact they are more akin to state influencers, the British state. And if I was Reform and Laura Kuenssberg was in fact cheerleading for me, I would kick her out as publicly as I possibly could, as quickly as I possibly could. Because what Laura Kuenssberg brings to the party is all the coverage that you could want, but at a price. Laura Kuenssberg, journalist for hire. Laura Kuenssberg, journo gunslinger. Laura Kuenssberg, journalist assassin. I bend this way and I bend that way and I do the bidding of my masters. It's difficult to know. What I can tell you is Something smells rotten in the state of Laura Kuenssberg. We have to be wary of influences from within, because that's where the rot takes hold. Grima Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings, a dark angel for dark forces, spoke into the king's ear directly and without interruption, and kept a just man from ruling justly. Made sure a certain narrative was all the king heard. And in this case, we, the citizens of this beautiful and grand country, the UK, are the king. And the BBC is Grima Wormtongue. And we must be vigilant. We must listen carefully. It's our job as citizens. Being a citizen doesn't come without a price. Our duties for democracy and freedom should be the torch that we hold, the vanguard that stretches out in front of us as we move forward into the future, that we create. So, Laura, I don't wish you any ill. You're just doing what you're doing. But we, the citizens, don't have to listen to you, do we? We don't have to acquiesce to the words that you speak, to the causes that you champion, to the doctored photos that you produce. So, let's all be citizens together. Let's be vigilant. Let's talk to each other. Let's agree, let's disagree. Let's be kind and let's be respectful wherever we can. Most of all, let's be British with everything that entails, to each other. And that's not easy to say, being a Welshman. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Do like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, this is me signing off. Do look after yourselves.